everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it's day 4 of Doctor Who week, where today I'm going to be talking about my top 5 Doctor Who episodes. That's right, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 Doctor Who episodes so far, because we all know because, hey, it's been on the air for 50 years, there's going to be plenty more. Also, just to give you a heads up, pretty much all the episodes on this are modern Doctor Who fans. I feel like I don't really know the classic series, and no, I've watched a substantial amount, but in all honesty, I feel like I kind of need to watch a little more of it before adding the classic episodes to the list. Anyways, so my top 5 episodes so far. Number 5. It was from Series 2, School Reunion. This is the episode where the Doctor, in his 10th incarnation, is reunited with his old companion, Sarah Jane Smith, and together they work with Rose Tyler, Mickey Smith, and K9 to stop these aliens called Krillitines who are using children to unlock a code that will allow them to control the universe. Alright, I like School Reunion because it was a great way to for fans of the modern era to get reintroduced to some characters of the classic era. You know, Sarah Jane Smith, K9, and it was good episodes, and it kind of confirmed to everyone that, yes, this is still in the same continuity as the old show. It's still all, the old show and old Doctor Who and the new Doctor Who are all one timeline. They're all connected. Don't worry about it. So that episode had great purpose. Also, I really did enjoy how this episode did kind of help give Sarah Jane Smith her own spin-off, the Sarah Jane Adventures. That's also a great little spin-off of Doctor Who, and it kind of came from this episode, which is fantastic. So yeah, School Reunion, very nice. It kind of sparked my interest in the classic series, so it was pretty impressive. Alright, number 2, Dalek. This was from Series 1, and it's actually my favorite 9th Doctor episode, because this is the episode that reintroduced the Daleks for the modern Doctor Who, and the way the 9th Doctor reacts when he sees a Dalek alive, he's immediately terrified, petrified with fear, but then realizes he can't do anything. He's just mocking it, laughing at it, and then eventually though the Doctor gets really dark when he tries to kill the last Dalek. This is the Doctor that survived the Time War. He pretty much annihilated all the Daleks at the cost of his own species, the Time Lords, and now one Dalek survived, so he kind of feels like it was all for nothing, and now he has to take care of the Daleks once and for all. But unfortunately, this won't be the only time we see the Daleks come back, because as you know, many episodes followed in the relaunched Doctor Who that Daleks do appear frequently, because they always survive. But this was the first episode with Daleks, well, more like one Dalek, and it just shows how much the Doctor really hates them, especially for the 9th Doctor, since he survived the Time War. And I thought, and it was and pretty much the 9th Doctor's reaction to the last Dalek is one of my favorite scenes. That's why I love this episode. And at the end of the episode, when he does try to kill it, Rose is able to talk him out of it, but ultimately the Dalek is destroyed when it self-destructs. So yeah, that's number 4. Number 3, The Rings of Akutan. This one's actually pretty recent. It's from Series 7. It was pretty much the 11th Doctor taking Clara to her first trip to an alien planet. And it was fun seeing Clara on an alien planet, but my favorite scene of it was when the Doctor is talking to the old god, that whole godlike parasite that's sort of feeding off people's memories, and he's giving the parasite god the speech, take my memories, saying that he survived the last great Time War. He's walked in universes where laws of physics were devised by a madman. I love that speech and also the delivery by Matt Smith was really impressive, especially that one part where he's actually able to get a tear to roll down his cheek. Oh man, that was just that was probably one of the best, my favorite performance of Matt Smith on Doctor Who. You have to admit, that is got to be in a lot of people's top 5 for Matt Smith moments. I mean, just the way he delivered it with just, it was brilliant, and at the same time, I was happy, I loved it, but also it kind of reminded me that this is going to be Matt Smith's last season, so there was some tragedy there, like, oh man, I'm really going to miss this guy. But nevertheless, Rings of Akutan was very impressive. Alright, number 2, The Doctor's Wife. Yeah, this one was in Series 6. It was written by Neil Gaiman, and the premise about this episode is that the Doctor gets a distress beacon from a Time Lord, but it turns out it wasn't a Time Lord, and on their way there, the TARDIS's consciousness gets sucked out of the TARDIS and into the body of a woman. So the Doctor actually got to interact with the TARDIS, got to actually speak and interact with the TARDIS on a really sort of personal connection. This time, though, when the Doctor talks to the TARDIS talks back. And it was funny seeing the Doctor and the TARDIS in various scenes, because they were like an old married couple. They were like a married couple, and it was hilarious. And hence the meaning of the episode, The Doctor's Wife, because there's always been one person with and the TARDIS is a living being. So, in a way, the companion that's always been there for the Doctor has been his ship, the TARDIS. And the TARDIS even wanted to explore herself. She said that, the Doctor thinks he stole in the Doctor's mind, he stole the TARDIS. But in the TARDIS's mind, she stole the Time Lord to work her, to activate her and stuff. The Doctor's Wife was just very funny. It was very entertaining. I really liked how, for once, the Doctor can actually interact with the being that is his TARDIS. So, yeah, it was very impressive. One of my favorite Doctor Who episodes. And of course, my top favorite is The End of Time. This was not just the end of the 10th Doctor's reign, but also it was the end of the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who. Russell T Davies brought the show back, and with The End of Time, it was his last episode. He also kind of brought the whole story arc with the Master to full circle. Well, not really full circle, it felt more like an epilogue in terms of what the Master did, but also for the 10th Doctor, it was really great episode. It was also a really great episode for the 10th Doctor, because again, the Master nearly brought the Time War to Earth, and we got to see a little more of that. Also, we got to see the Doctor still almost had a choice where he could kill the Master and end it all, but he didn't. He still found another way to stop them. But ultimately, and it seemed like every single scenario, every time the Doctor was about to die, he would find a way out. But then, after he managed to defeat the Master, send the Time War back into the time lock, he still, at the end of the day, died, all just to save his friend Wilfred Mott. And Wilf even told the Doctor, he could leave him and go on, but the 10th Doctor couldn't do that, so he sacrificed himself to save Wilf. And he absorbed, and also another great moment was when, after he absorbed the radiation and he was dying, before he started his regeneration cycle, he went back and visited all his old companions. He visited Mickey, Martha, Captain Jack, Sarah Jane, Donna, and then even Rose before she even met him. So, and before ultimately heading back in the TARDIS and regenerating into Matt Smith, the 11th Doctor. Yeah, and also good regeneration sequence. How at the end, the 10th Doctor, his final words, "I don't want to go." That was brilliant acting on David Tennant's part. The End of Time was just one of my favorite episodes, because without the Russell T Davies era, I probably wouldn't be a Doctor Who fan. It got me into the show, so it was kind of like the finale for that era before the baton was passed to Stephen Moffat, who began another awesome era in his own way. So, yeah. Okay, those are my top 5 episodes of Doctor Who, why I like them, why I think they're awesome. What are your favorite episodes? Please comment below, if you want to say what your top 5 or if you don't know where your top 5 are, say top 3, or hell, even list 10 if you want. But yeah, please comment below if you have anything to add to this. Also, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the last video for Doctor Who Week.